Hello, my name is Irina and I want to tell you about speech development of a preschool-age child. Speech development is a very complicated process consisting of 4 main stages, and today we're going to talk about the second period of the first words, which follows the first before speech period. I'll try to explain you the basic mechanisms of this process and to give you some advice how to develop the speech of your child. I insist that speech development should be considered in a complex of activity, facial expressions and gestures. The point is that activity can influence speech development of a child. Facial expressions and gestures can be considered as a communication means and participate in naming process. Correlating data from this table with data from this bar chart, we can suggest that a dominant activity of a child defines a dominant part of speech in the vocabulary of a child. And interesting for us period, I mean 1 to 3 years old, a dominant activity is informative, which corresponds to a noun as a dominant part of speech in the vocabulary of a child. Indeed, the fact is that during the first 2 years of life, a child studies to distinguish him or herself from environment. A child learns to recognize different objects and to identify them. For example, a child can show a nose or an eye on his or her own face or on other faces. But the naming process of a child differs from ours. The point is that children name the whole situation. They cannot separate an object and an action. For example, when a child takes a toothbrush, he begins to clean teeth and he doesn't understand that a toothbrush can act in other way or that this operation can be done by other object. It's the main feature of naming process of a child. Then, at this period, a child studies different sound complexes, I mean interjections, facial expressions and gestures, which he or she can use by naming objects. For example, a child throws a ball and says, "Bah!" In this case, this interjection, facial expression and gesture mean both a ball and throwing. That's why children so like when their parents imitate animal speech. So, based on these facts, I can give you some advices. First of all, you should help a child to study the world around him. Your main task is to give names. For example, name the toys you play with and try to keep the same toys in one place. For example, teddies with teddies, books with books, bricks with bricks. Reading the books with the child. Choose the books with more pictures and less text. And always explain what is painted. If an object can produce sounds, try to imitate them. For example, it's a car. The car makes beep beep. Or it's a cow. The cow says moo. It's also a good idea to use the toys for puppet shows. For example, like that. You can show whole performances or just to play with the child. One more advice is to develop fine motor skills. The point is that these two functions, I mean fine motor skills and speech, are very close connected in our brain. And the development of one zone of brain can influence the development of another. You can, for example, use these simple constructors. Or you can build bricks building, like that. That's what I wanted to say you about the period of the first words. Next time we will talk about the period of the first phrases. Good day for you and for your child. And remember, every child is unique. Goodbye.